record button, and I'll ask you for real. Hey, man, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Mezo Shoji, one dot. What's going on with this?
So the basic idea is that I got done playing Cementos, and I wanted to play another like high life character that cheats hand size. So I figured 7 hand size, 29 life. Why not try that out?
Love it.
And cheat the life by running a bunch of zero diffs and just picking up free, at the very least, a free block, if not a free good foundation, because life has busted zero diffs.
Makes sense to me. So hit me with the elevator pitch. Besides that, what else you got going on with the deck?
Sure. For the most part, it's just kind of do life things, build out foundations right under deadlock, because there is quite a bit of deadlock nowadays, and then draw cards so that I have plenty of hands on a kill turn, or plenty of cards on a kill turn. Get things at a momentum using zero grav lift, which then I can pull stuff and extend out with zero grav lift by pulling things out of the card pool on a kill turn, and then kill with like back alleys, create capture nets, and tongue whips. So stun them a bunch with the first two, and then hit them with the tongue whip and stuff their card pool and kill them.
Okay. So then what do you want our help on?
So I kind of mainly wanted the help with just, is there anything that I'm missing? So I did have Cannon Blast in here at one point, but then I took it back out because I just never found it super useful. Like it's very glass cannony, and I never got a chance to play it like in any of the games I played. And then I would just kill without it anyways.
Right.
I think I could also come down a little bit on just the size of the deck. But I have less experience building out like foundation blocks for life decks. I feel like the attacks are pretty solid, but the foundations I'm less confident on. So anything there would be nice.
Okay, fair. I dig it. I dig it. I'm still looking through Ultra and looking at some stuff and some things. So give me this.
So I think this will be a lot of fun. I have a good buddy of mine that loves Shoji, and it was definitely one of the characters that he was like even prepping competitively. There was even a time actually here in Omaha where a bunch of people were on the Life Shoji train. I think you're in a really good realm, especially if there's a world where like Momo gets banned or something like that. Hey, this guy's a pseudo 7-hander that can play the life symbol. So like, there's like, he definitely for sure has some legs or dupli arms. If we want to get sorry. He definitely takes a lot of finesse, though, and he feels very just above fair. I don't think I think he's better than some of like the worst characters in the set, but like because of exactly like being able to tutor a foundation every single turn to me is actually crazy good. And then sometimes when your opponent tries to overextend against you, you're saying, "Hey, instead of picking a foundation this turn, I'm picking up a good old orange card." So I think for sure that stuff is really good. And like because now things like Back Alley Haymaker exist, there's a world where you pay 5 and you got an orange and a gray card because you could just build in the zero diff that you were going to pick up anyway. So there's definitely, I love it because he definitely fits the style of the life toolboxy kind of, generic like package that exists that a lot of people are playing, and doesn't have to be as like pigeon-held into like weapons or extra assets like Momo does. He feels very Toga as well. I've been playing a lot of that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I've got so one of the things that I don't see in other life decks, which for probably good reasons, like Recovery Girl's Kiss, but like in this deck, when I can reasonably, if I want to, put myself one down and then pick up a 1 diff for free. For example, self-sack if I need a good low block or observant student. Like, I really like Recovery Girl's Kiss and Excited for Blood in this deck so much.
I was doing it with, because you can play Rising Starlet as well. It's pay 2, but then you built it, so then you're going to pay 1, basically, for just to have a good high block that you can choose to do some extra weapon synergy with. So I was doing kind of cool stuff like that. Sometimes, not all the time, obviously. And so it was a kind of cool way to cheat other things in. Or you could use it to, like, turbo build. Not saying that you need to do anything like that because it's a more restrictive deck building wise. But Shoji kind of feels like he kind of has to win the game eventually. He kind of has like the same kind of going game plan. Like Zero Gravity Lift is kind of honestly his best card because It's the life symbol. It wants to play a string eventually, and the more zero gravity lifts you find in the beginning of the game, he gets to shove them into his momentum, as well as giving 2 damage onto throws.
Yeah, I win off of zero grav lift. That is like my biggest thing. Is if I don't see any zero grav lifts, my strategy for a kill turn becomes so much more difficult. Because like just being able to, especially playing 2 in a turn and then killing the next turn, like that's not even that bad. Even if it's like playing a 5 and a 6, because they're both 8 damage. So
Yep.
love that.
What'd you find for us, Tam?
All right, yeah, let's take a peek. I got a lot of stuff. I think obviously you had a couple cards in your sideboard, so we'll ignore whatever you picked. First and foremost, if you've got a bunch of zero diffs, overhead reversal is tight. You just build in. It's also that same throw. It's that same idea. That same throw, that same idea as the grav lift, except for this one builds you a card as opposed to minusing your difficulty. In addition to that, I tossed in Cannon Blast, and then you said you didn't like Cannon Blast. I think Cannon Blast is like a one-of, is like really, really cool. Same thing with Home Run Comet, as just like these alternate pseudo-win conditions, right? The cool thing that I like about Shoji is not necessarily like the consistency of, 4 shower, 4 lift, 4 whip. It's like kind of got that Momo energy of, I'll accidentally go and find myself a
Powerful whatever move.
a powerful whatever move, right?
Mhm.
Oh, Home Run Comet here says that I win the game. Oh, I'll go pick that up. That's fine.
Yep.
I think Tongue Smack with zero gravity lift is really tight in your character. You're the world's worst Ochako. Like it's a terrible Ochako impersonation, but it's neat. I don't know if it's good or not, but I just wanted to throw it in the list. And then last attack that I had was just full cowling. Paying 5 to force your opponent to block a move might be good enough. Maybe this is a sideboard card. I don't know.
It's that same kind of energy.
That
Like,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Overhead reversal and then the ideas of putting like Cannon Blast and Home Run Comet on one-ofs. I like those ideas the most. Overhead reversal I had in there at one point, and then I swapped it out for something, and I never got around to thinking whether to put it back in.
It's probably Capture Net. They do very similar things, right? This thing just like builds from hand as opposed to builds from discard pile, right?
Yeah.
But like because of the amount of zero diffs that you're probably going to be playing, just like paying your 0 to pick up your release and then just building in Recovery Girl's Kiss for free feels really good, right? As opposed to like how many turns are you actually going to pay the 0 to go pick something up with Shoji. This just like gives you that extra one without reducing your hand size that Capture Net does. Capture Net's also like a stun 2, threatening 6 damage because of your character. Like they're just like 2 sides of the same
I like
coin.
Capture Net for the stun too, for sure. Like that's why I'm running it the most. There are definitely games I've won because I stun 6'd them and then just threw down 2 tongue smacks. That was definitely one of the attack strings I got.
Haymaker and Capture Net will for sure do that, and it is very good. Just for all the stun on it. Like both of them combined.
You look at the dots. Look at the dots at the top of Capture Net and then the dots at the top of Haymaker. See how they're different?
Like it was printed wrong?
Yeah. And I don't know if printed wrong, but like printed differently.
Sure.
Anywho, I look at these cards too much. Let's talk about some of the foundations we picked. So I like Battle Resolve a lot. I think Battle Resolve is actually a better version of Recover Girl's Kiss, IMO. It is a slightly less proactive. It's a slightly more reactive version, but this card accidentally also gives +3 or -3 speed, whereas this card is just exclusively there to flip in game by 1 health, and you blow it up with self-sacrifice, and then you Shoji, and then everybody cheers, and it's like, yeah, we did the thing.
We're slowly gaining life.
But this card like actually tries to help you kill somebody, which is like cool.
Or block the thing that matters.
Right.
I guess
Floating around.
what I didn't think about is I could do the same thing with Recovery Girl's Kiss, where I pick up a 1 div for free on a turn, and then just destroy it, and then play another foundation to replace it. I didn't think about that on Battle Resolve, because the commit was the thing that I didn't like about it, but...
Yeah. Floating around my baby says that all of these lame 5 damage moves are now lame 6 damage moves, and that's good enough, right? And that's just that 1 copy. When you look at the aggro life deck that Chris Brown was playing over the past weekend, like his entire plans were just tight-lipped self-sack floating to turn every foundation into, or every attack into +3 damage. And so like This card is just good. This card is just really, really good, especially because we were trying to string things out, right? Not to mention Shoji. It's like you accidentally get like double-digit moves just because of things like floating, and you get to go pick this card up for free.
Yeah.
Childhood Friends. This card shares 2 symbols, and that is just good enough to make you want to play this card at the 1-of. I can play Tongue Whip as a poke, and then use Childhood Friends, then pick the Tongue Whip up. That's disgusting.
Yeah, I like that.
Encouraging Trends says that you don't die to these crazy fast attacks.
Also capture that, right? Has all?
It does have all.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the only one though. Yeah.
Yeah, only 2.
Yeah. Encouraging Training Partner says that you don't die accidentally to these very fast decks. Things like the Cannon Blast or the Home Run Comets that get ungodly fast. Summoner Style. You yourself said that like the best thing about your deck, one of the best things, is this double stun package, and this card says that you get to block one of those for free. You mentioned being able to go and grab 1 lows and 1 mids, but you have no 1 highs in your deck. So I think having a Bonds of Friendship versus like a mono high deck would not be terrible. Same thing with Infinite Potential. This card at like a 2-of feels really, really good, and this card at a 2-of, like you're just like representing the chance to have a 6. Fury attacks are not unplayed, but it's not the main reason. It's just like, yo, I'll pay 1 health to make sure I don't get cannon blasted to death, right? And so like, yeah, that's definitely like a big brain move.
Or like Dark Shadow Ruin. Like there's a bunch of relevant high attacks that can hit hard.
Yeah, I'll pay 1 health to not get smacked up by Ruin. That makes total sense to me. And the last one's just Wealthy Aspirations. You're playing a Meteor Shower deck. You should probably have this card in your deck at least a 1-of. Also another 1 low block that you can pay to go pick up, right? Any of this stuff in the sideboard that looks interesting to you at all?
So I want to ask if it's completely crazy to just get rid of Meteor Shower, because that was one of the things I was considering. Because I, again, like Cannon Blast, I haven't come up in a situation where it's really done me too well. There was like 1 game where I strung a few together using 0 grab lift, and it felt good, but it also wasn't super high damage. Although if I add in some of the other stuff that adds damage, that might change.
It is slow. It requires setup. I have seen Shoji lists not play it, but I think if you do, then you probably gravitate towards a lot more of the throws, because what the end game of what Meteor Shower does, of like being able to play a bunch on a really good turn, you get that same value if you're putting at least a little bit of damage on the board every turn with things like the throws. So that would be
specifically, I was thinking about taking Meteor Shower out for Overhead Reversal.
Okay.
Do you have the Gen Con versions
of Meteor Shower?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, then yeah, we can take them out. That's fine. If we had the Gen Con versions, no. You know, it's killing me not to play mine. So like, that's probably what I'm gonna play at the next online regional. It's just some sort of Meteor Shower deck.
Good lord. That's the only way to play Osprey.
We'll talk after while we go to dinner. I don't think that's terrible. I will say I think Meteor Shower gets to kill people. The only reason Meteor Shower has even remotely fallen off is because of a card you're not even playing, and that's Face Shield. And so, like, if you and your life deck are not playing Face Shield, how often are these other life decks playing it? Question mark. There's the question. That's the only reason this card's fallen off.
Yeah, because the flip. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the reason that Ochaku is like people are being big babies about playing that character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Lift Shower is just like so unbelievably free, and the fact that you get to be a 7 hand size character that does this is like exceptionally good. I think once you put in these floating around my babies and floating around my babies, and then combining it with tight lipped and self-sacrifice, I think that you're actually going to start killing people, because playing 4 7 damage moves is probably better than playing 1 11 damage move, right?
And like, if you have all,
that makes sense.
And if you have the combo plus your character, you're giving the first 2 attacks in your turn plus 5 damage.
Right.
So like, that's
so
pretty
then
good.
What would you take out for Overhead Reversal then?
I mean, you could easily, like, depending on how bad you need it, you could go like 1 back alley, 1 capture net, right, and run 3 3 2. and I don't even necessarily think that this is the right thing to do. I'm just saying that it is an option, and it says that your commit is as strong on your character, right? But like saying that like your zero gravity lift is good, and then like your create capture net just hits a little harder, like might be good enough, right? This is only in here to get your brain moving. But if you said that if you already are feeling this way and you've already pulled this card out once, I'm not telling you you have to put it back in. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, that makes sense. This is basically me just like reconsidering it because, like I said, I hadn't come back to it because I think I took it out for the zero grav lifts.
I would much rather you actually take out one of these capture nets and put in a home run comet, and then take out one of these back alleys.
Put the one cannon blast
and then put the one cannon blast in. And I think that actually makes the deck look a little cooler. And it also says that, like, because this is a high block, this is a high block, this is a high block, and you're just like slamming as many high blocks on your attacks as possible. We haven't even looked at the stats of your deck. Yeah, I just took out 2 high blocks. And so like this just makes you slightly more well-rounded.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is a charge, this is a charge, this is a charge, this is a charge, this is a high charge. This is a comet, like, hits for 1,000. The only cards that don't count are Meteor Shower or Whip. I mean, that's why Home Run Comet is so sick, right?
Yeah, doesn't Meteor Shower count? Or is there a
Yeah,
different
Meteor
reason
Shower
that doesn't count?
certainly counts. It's a high and a charge. Wish we got +2, huh?
Yeah.
From there, I would rather just like I want to get rid of the Recovery Girl's Kiss because I don't think that you need it, and I just want to toss in these triple Floating Around My Babies. You're gonna flip these cards anyways, and that sucks. You'll never block with them, so like the fact that this is a 4-mid block is irrelevant.
If it's anything to warrant, having played against enough Life Shoji decks, having 4 copies of Release and 4 copies of Tight-Lipped alone was enough zero diffs to feel like you always got value on the back alley Haymakers, his own character, and potentially playing overhead reversal. So I think if you even if you want to you can 1-for-1 Recovery Girl's Kiss with different toolboxy zero diffs like the Floating Around My Babies. It doesn't have to be battle resolve. Like just having that amount, because you're currently at 4, 7, 10 zero diffs. I think that's plenty. So I don't think you have to up it necessarily, but if you want to change which ones they are.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I'd be
your deck,
willing
not
to
mine.
try out switching Recovery Girl's Kiss, because I think Recovery Girl's Kiss is one of those things where it's like I'm not going to be able to see whether it was actually providing value until it's not there.
True.
And so like if it's not there and I don't miss it, then it's like, okay, well, what was I doing running it in the first place?
Also, block better. I think flip gain 1 sucks, personally. I think that's just not a good exchange rate. The reason you're playing this character is because you are willing to pay that cost of pay the life. Just block better. Just block better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're doing, right? So on most turns, you are paying Vitality to pick up a card to block with. So that's what you're doing with it anyway. Floating Around My Babies, don't block with that one, though. Yeah,
that card sucks.
Yeah, I'm thinking that.
Bad block. That's one of the I kill you cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Was there anything else down here that looked interesting that you wanted to maybe slot in for?
So Childhood Friends at a 1-of, I actually really like that idea. I didn't think of that because I noticed I didn't see that most of mine matched up with Shoji, but I didn't think of the fact that Tongue Whip and what was the other one? Oh, Create Capture Net. Oh, Create Capture Net less so, but Tongue Whip matches up with it. Like I always would like to have an extra Tongue Whip in my hand after I play and poke with one.
It says you're allowed to poke with it as opposed to just like hoarding them like a dragon, right? It says you're allowed to poke with it. And your opponent,
I've definitely done that.
Yeah, and then your opponent, knowing you have a Tongue Whip in your hand, forces them to play differently. They have to hold a low block, which means that they are -1 hand size. Even if like on the next turn you don't play the whip, right? Like you just don't play it. They going into your next turn, they're like, he has a whip in hand. He's not reviewing that whip. I have to have a low block, or else the whip might maybe kill me, right? So it does some interesting mind game stuff to your opponent as well, depending on how much they like fall for your bait. Before we continue, what's going on with this number? Are we allowed to increase, decrease? What number do you want this to be at?
I don't have a huge preference, but I kind of assume that decreasing it's probably the right thing to do. I think it's probably a tiny bit too high. I think being a bit slimmer might be good for it.
The tough part is like your character gets to go pay life to go pick up tap cards, right? If they want to, right? If you just want to be a big aggressive monster. But 69, 22 out of 69 is a pretty low ratio on attack cards. It just means that you're going to build more, right? Which is not a thing that the life symbol hates doing. Hey, life symbol likes building. But like we easily get to like what's our block zones look like, right? Like we could take like a wall cling out, we could take a first villain counter out, we could take
some of the assets
one of these
could move.
rescue
like...
box full of babies could just be cut altogether. Oh, but also at the same time, box full of babies changes this ratio, and says that your cannon blasts and home run combats are neater. So.
What I like Box Full of Babies for is if I don't actually want any of my zero diffs. So like for example, let's say I'm trying to win in a turn, I can just pick up a zero diff anyways and then get rid of it, and I now just have an extra card.
Dang, that's tight. That's cool. I like that a lot. That's neato.
But is it 3 of needed? Maybe.
I really like it at 3 of. I
We'll keep it
really
then.
don't want to take it out.
Cool.
I'm down.
Sure.
I'm down. Plus Ultra, feel the same way?
Plus Ultra I just have in there, which I don't actually have them in paper yet. I should have them soon. I used the loyalty points, but I had in there because I mean zero grab lift feels amazing. So any like throw it feels great with. Double the speed on tongue whip. Like I feel like it just helps me kill if I'm having trouble against the deck.
Fair.
I'm not attached to Plus Ultra. I just feel like it's right to have it in on.
Can I put it to a 1-of?
On a set 1 character. I'd be fine with that.
Tight. You can't go pick it up a Shoji is my issue.
Yeah.
Right? And I want to cut like this down to a 2-of. I want to cut wall cling down to a 2-of, and you can sideboard the other ones. I want to put
Cut an observant. That's how I do.
Observant Student down to 3.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. He does get access to the hidden text on the card.
The hidden text of
Cards leave and then cards leave.
Sure.
Observant Student, I mainly had in for an extra 1 low, but I think I actually had it at 3. I was just rushing to put it at 4 up because I realized I didn't update the deck list with what I was running in paper. So
you
Makes sense.
also have self-sacrifice though, which is in the same category.
Correct.
Right? So like like
I think
you're
I
playing
have it at
2
3,
of
something
those.
like that.
We probably actually could just like toss this down to a 2-of truthfully, and then there's where we get to slot in our 1 childhood friends, and then I want to put in like double someone with style if possible, because I think someone with style is another one of those easy ways. We're at 67 now. That's totally acceptable. This is one of those easy ways to 1, stop stun abilities, and 2, destroy these lame cards that get flipped in order to reuse for Shoji.
Yeah.
If you don't have the self.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like that.
It also helps, again, Life wants to play strings, and that readying itself is a way, like, you don't have Amphibious anymore. So, like, that is one that can do it.
Right.
And it's not unique. So you see 4, you can pop 4 and ready 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels good.
The sickest play, too, and did a lot in Toga, is that even with just 1 or 2 of them, you can play an attack, tap them, ready them, play Naval Laser Beam, or so flip them too. Sorry, play Naval Laser Beam, unflip them. They're treated as new cards. You can do it again because it's a once per turn on the card, not a has not been ready this turn effect.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can get extra mileage.
Some big brain plays though.
I know, but sometimes you got to do it.
Is there anything on the cutting room floor over here in the sideboard that you feel like we're missing?
The only 2 things I can think of. The first one would be, should I add in a 1 high block that costs 1 to go get, or is having release as a cost nothing but it's too high good enough?
That's kind of how
Truthfully, take notes, right? Am I dying to ruin? Am I dying to cannon? Am I dying to lashing? Hilarious.
other home run comments.
Correct. Yeah. Am I dying to these cards because I can't quite block them well enough? If that's the case, then maybe you do toss in like a single bonds of friendship, right? Like just the 1-of, just to be chill with it, right?
Sure.
Like you could cut down like 1 tight-lipped for that extra copy, you know?
Yeah.
Or like first villain encounter, make it 1-on-1.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else we can help
I
with?
don't think I see anything in the side.
Okay.
The only thing is I might up Excited back to 3 of because I do really like Excited.
We'll
this
put it there
deck,
now.
but
That's fine.
Sure. I feel like I get so much value out of it.
I don't
even
think
if I
you
just
need-
flip it for 4, like with Shoji, it makes it where I can go pick up an attack. Like if I'm at 2 or something, I really want an attack on one final turn. If I got a chance to flip it, I can go pick that up now.
I also think that like the Excited for Blood life gain, it goes a lot further than like what you're doing with the Recovery Girl's Kiss. Like +4 in 1 turn versus +1 slowly over of a bunch of turns, like is more high impact. And feels a lot better earlier as well. What I was gonna say is, if you're like doing like the kind of small tweaking numbers, every time I've played high value target as a 4 of, it feels like it's a lot, and you don't need that many. I like it as a good 3 of, in my opinion. So like that's another one where that's kind of like the bonds of friendship could go into, but that's like my
True.
That's my like one extra note.
My big thing in there is just like the number of low blocks that we have, right? Although like this is a 3 low and that sucks.
Yeah.
So like, there's the biggest maybe. Funny note about Excited for Blood versus Kiss. It's like the same exchange rate of pay 3 to go gain 4, which means I just heal 1 as opposed to pay 0 to heal 1.
But it's better when you just have them.
Correct.
Yeah, I
Correct.
rarely try to pick those up, but if I really want 1 life, I guess I can.
Hell yeah,
I
brother.
think it's
Or
just
actually, really, I'll pick it up for card draw. But
to me, it's if you see the Excited for Bloods early, your vitality goes a lot longer of a way, and you're getting cards in hand while you do it. Whereas like Recovery's Girl Kiss just does that one thing.
yeah.
True. All right, man. Thank you much for the support on Patreon. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Stay on the line long
No
enough for me to shoot
problem.
you this list over, and we'll you have a rest of your night, okay?
Sure. Works
All
for
right.
me.
Peace.
Thank you.